Hello and welcome, my name's Hayley Funnell and welcome to East Sussex College Live on Demand. I'm Head of Curriculum and today you're going to be able to hear from the team and also hear from some of our students. There'll also be a short Q&A at the end, so if you've got any questions do write them down and there'll be an opportunity to ask them. We cannot wait to welcome you to the Lewes campus.
This was just a better option due to the placement and the contact hours and stuff like that, so that's what really kind of drew me here.
I only did chemistry and it was the only college that had chemistry as an access.
You compared it to a lot of the other colleges and the reviews were good.
I wanted to progress my career. There's a lot of biology which I'm really fascinated by and interested in.
Quite a close friend of mine did the pathway themselves and recommended it.
So it was a good choice for me, I think.
It's local and good.
Ask me a question again, we'll go.
From every angle you can possibly think of.
Personal life stuff, like how to manage time.
The tutors were amazing also.
Right down to the nitty-gritty academic stuff of how to plan and write essays.
So it was very supportive and very well delivered.
On the intranet that we could talk to other students and the teachers as well.
And it gives you like tips on how to write essays and what it's going to be like at uni.
Just improved my self-confidence and showed that I was capable of doing it really.
Everyone here was amazing and pushed me in the right direction.
I think the biggest fear was that having not studied for about 5 years since my degree, not studying science since I was 15, and not doing very well at science at school, I was very worried about the workload.
I wouldn't be able to do it. I don't know.
Science, having done all languages, I was like, there's no way.
Being one of the youngest people, I reckon.
Being older than everyone was one big fear.
Yeah, that maybe I'd be a bit rusty with my essay writing skills.
Because I'm not long out of college when I came here.
But everyone's so supportive of that kind of thing that my fears were completely taken away.
It sounds really stupid. It was, what would I do if it really snowed and I couldn't get into college because I was so desperate to start.
Probably getting back into it really, because I was out of education for about a year or two maybe.
Don't be afraid that if you haven't studied for a long time you won't get back into it because you will.
I got places at Brighton and Canterbury for midwifery, which is amazing because it's so competitive, but it was completely down to the access course. It was incredible.
Applied to 4 medical schools and I've got 4 interviews.
It's something that I'm really interested in and really like doing, and this was the pathway. So that to me, that's awesome.
Got offered about 4 different places, so I could pick and choose what would suit me best.
Wow, that
Being a 4 junior doctor.
Hopefully, having worked for a couple of years in psychiatric wards, wherever in the country I choose to be, and looking into doing some more higher education, doing a master's or a doctorate. I'm doing chemistry at the moment, so I'm looking to do forensic, another master's in forensics at the end.
and I'm so glad that I did it.
We have a fantastic team in the Access to HE department that consists of a head of curriculum and Francesca Garnett, who's our administrator, who will deal with all your inquiries and questions along with application forms and asking you to attend an interview. We have 3 main core tutors: Alan Miller, who is the tutor for humanities along with the medicine pathway and is a humanities and study skills specialist. And we also have Jeff May, who is the tutor for nursing and is a science specialist. And lastly, Sadia Najaf, who is again a qualified teacher and a science specialist who will be tutoring combined science and medical science. Our information session today will hopefully provide you with an introduction to the course and the different pathway options, as well as an opportunity to ask questions. We'll also talk to you about the information regarding that you'll need in terms of applications, and we hope you enjoy the presentation. Lots of fantastic things about studying at Lewes, including the support from the tutors, including tutorial, development of your study skills and applying for university. You'll have designated support with your UCAS applications, as well as us having fantastic facilities including a library and computer access. For students who require learning support, we are still able to offer you places on the course and be able to provide you access to that support. We have excellent partnerships with local universities, as well as having an excellent success rate and reputation. We offer a high individual needs support, so our learners as adults often haven't had a lot of opportunity for study, or a long time ago that you studied, so we'd like to be able to provide you with that support that you need in order to pass the course and move on to your chosen destination. Here's an example of our success rates. I have dated them back from the previous academic year, that due to COVID-19 this year, our achievement rates don't actually count due to the calculated grades. Most of our learners are students who left school with less than 5 GCSEs, and 100% of those students who finished with full completion. Our withdrawal rate was only 11%, which is much lower than the national average. Out of the 98 students, 81 students completed and 86 students received at least one offer for their chosen universities. Depending on what your chosen progression route is, you need to ensure that you choose the correct pathway that allows you to progress onto your chosen university course. Some examples here on the screen of what students have progressed onto by doing an access course in any of the pathways. Obviously, if you're looking at nursing, you will need to do the nursing and healthcare along with midwifery. But there are lots of options, especially within humanities course, but do check the entry criteria required by your university. If our students choose to study local, so we've secured them places at Sussex University, Brighton and Chichester, and other learners choose to go and study further away, and obviously this depends on your home situation. We have excellent relationships with universities, and the Access to HE course is a highly regarded course for entry criteria and is part of universities' widening participation schemes. Again, do check with your university of choice. You may be required certain credits and modules, which we'll talk about later on. Here are some case studies of students that have had life after the Access course and progressed onto university. As you can see, both of these have ended up with dream jobs, and there's some feedback about their time at the college. As you'll see on the screen now, these are the pathways that we plan to run for September 2021. We are predominantly only running day courses from this year, as the evening course has become less popular with humanities over the coming sort of years. We are aiming, if there are enough applications, then we look to reinstate that. So it probably will be advertised. However, you do need to note that not all of the pathways will run unless the applicant numbers are there. Entry criteria for access courses dependent on universities, which will usually require GCSEs to include English and Maths, and in some cases science at grade C or 4. However, if you don't have these, you can do them at the college whilst you study alongside the access course. However, you're only able to take one GCSE, so English or Maths, alongside your access course. You're required to talk to us individually about your circumstances, and obviously if you have things like mitigating circumstances, or the university have said they'll accept you as part of the widening participation scheme, then please do let us know. If you're inquiring about GCSE English and Maths, then please do email Carmen Creasy. Her email address is at the bottom of the screen, to discuss the application process for GCSE English and Maths. You will be asked to interview how you plan to fund your Access to HE course. However, for some students it may be eligible for them to either have funding or a fee waiver. And as you can see on the screen, that's depending on your age and if you already have a level 3 qualification or not. If it doesn't apply, you'll be expected to pay the full fee, or you may be able to apply for an advanced learner loan, which is from the government. Loans will be repayable once you earn over a certain amount. However, if the access course allows you to go on to university and you complete your university course, your further education loan will be written off. That's a really exciting point, really, because I think the fees are quite a concern for people, especially if they're reducing their working hours. So it is definitely worth looking into and seeing if you are eligible, if you're not eligible for a fee waiver within the college. On the screen now are the fees that are for each of the different pathways. They vary slightly due to requirements of things like lab work, so the sciences pathways are slightly more expensive. These fees are correct at the time of printing, however, these may be adjusted slightly. All of these course fees are within the advanced learner loan amount that you are able to take out. All of the Access to HE diplomas are assessed in the same way. Therefore, they are made up of 60 credits and each module has a relevant number of credits. 45 of these credits will be graded at pass, merit or distinction, and 15 credits will be ungraded, so pass or fail, and will form your study skills modules. For full details on subject breakdown, you'll be given a information sheet at interview, but please check that your chosen course allows you progression to your chosen university or course, as some universities will require for a number of credits or in certain modules. So for example, to be a pharmacist, they will ask for X amount of credits in biology and chemistry modules. So do check that this course allows you to progress onto the route you have chosen. All of our Access to Higher Education pathways run over 3 days at the Lewes campus. We aim to run them between 9:30 and 3, however those that are on science pathways, so combined science, medical science and nurses, you may need to be in college between 9 and 3. The reason being is because of lab availability and lab work that you might be required a full hour-and-a-half session to complete. For all other pathways, they tend to be again between 9:30 and 3. There is some variance in that due to timetabling and staffing. You'll have confirmation of the days of the pathways upon enrolment, as we appreciate that you may have childcare and part-time work to arrange around your studies. There's no doubt about it that the Access to HE pathway content and the year of study is difficult, and it's a lot to do within 1 year. The requirements of you as a student is to obviously be available during the college hours on the timetable, commitment, enthusiasm, have time for independent study to complete assessments, assignments, prepare for exams, etc. And the potential to study at level 4 and 5 at university. For some pathways, there may be a requirement for voluntary experience or work placement in a healthcare setting. This mainly applies to our nursing pathway. Thank you for listening to the Access to HE presentation today. I'm sure you possibly have some more questions. There will be a short Q&A with a member of staff after this. If you have any urgent questions that you wish to address or any further questions regarding the pathways. We do have more information on our college website, including an Access to HE information booklet. Alternatively, you can email our administrator, Francesca Garnett. We are now taking applications for this coming September. It's not too late to apply. If you are thinking about career change, then this course is definitely for you.